the questions at the end that were troublesome. So I just want to warn you, these symbols are all mixed up. When it's got this symbol, it means congruent. It means that they're going to be equal. Two things are going to be equal if you've got this symbol, right? And we just look at the key. T is the last thing, so it goes with C, right? Same thing down here. Same thing here. If I've got this key, it's just like in IXL where you've got to follow the right pattern, right? Question number 4 is a little more difficult. We want to talk about question number 4? Yeah? Okay. So this is definitely a hard question. I think there is one like this on the test. I'm looking for P, right? And I know things are congruent, so I know I can set two things equal to each other. How are M and Q related? They're equal, right? They're both the middle letter in my triangle, so they're going to be equal to each other. So if I set those equal to each other, and I do 4x plus 10 equals 3x plus 20, and I subtract the x's from both sides, I get x. I subtract the 10 from both sides, I get 10. So this is step 1. Okay. Step 2 is going to be to do what? Absolutely. So I'm going to put that 10 in here. 3 times 10 is 30 plus 20. So angle Q is 50 degrees, which means because Q and M are both congruent that this is 50 degrees, right? So step 2 was to substitute. What's step 3? Oh, hello. I am going to divide by 2. What do I have to do before I divide by 2? So step 3 is to look at this whole triangle. What kind of triangle is it? It is isosceles. So step number 3 is to look at that isosceles triangle, and you know that 2 sides are the same, which means 2 angles are the same. And I know that apex angle is 50 degrees. So what do I have to do before I divide by 2? Subtract from 180. So we're going to do 180 minus 50, and then whatever that answer is divided by 2, and that's going to give you angle P. Okay. Does that work for everybody out in Zoom world? There's definitely 3 steps, and they're 3 big steps. Always make sure you're answering the question being asked. Okay. Question 5 looks good. It's got that congruent symbol, so it's going to be equal. 2 things are going to be equal. You've got all 3 angles. You're just going to equal 2 angles. Question 6 looks good. Same thing. Any questions about question 7? Also going to be equal. It just takes a little extra step. P is the midpoint of MN. So P is the midpoint of MN. That means the MP side and the NP side are going to be the same. You've got M on one side, P in the middle, and N on the other side. You're going to have 2 congruent segments. So you're going to mark that like this. What else can you mark in this triangle? That vertical part, that reflexive part, right? So if I label these with 1 tick mark, can I label that with 1 tick mark, or do I have to put a second tick mark in there? I need 2. So if I had numbers here, let's say these 2 are 5. If I put 1 tick mark here, that's saying this is also 5. By putting 2 tick marks, it means this is something other than 5. Okay? So this is the picture you want to check on number 8. I think I'm going to skip down. I mean, we can talk about 9, 10, and 11 if we want. CP is a knife that cuts TN exactly in half. So again, you've got T, you've got N, and you've got TN split in half. So TN is split in half, and you've got the vertical angles. This is the picture you want. You don't know anything about CP, that's the knife. If this is the knife, it doesn't get sliced in half, right? You see the difference between those two? This one's good, this one's not so good because my knife is shattered, right? Here, same thing. You've got a knife that's cutting a piece of cake. So you're going to get two angles that are the same. This angle and this angle are going to be the same, and we can do the reflexive side, but we can't do anything else. That's the picture you want. Okay. I'm not getting a lot of feedback. I feel like maybe I'm just chatting and we're not really understanding. I need folks to ask questions. Do we need to talk about any of these? 11. If there's no picture, I need you to draw a picture. Get out a piece of paper, do whatever you need to do to draw a picture, okay? LMQ, that's my first triangle. Then I've got LNP, and it's similar, so I'm going to draw it smaller. LNP, right? Then I just go through and I test everything. Is MN a side? Are the M and the N even connected? M and N? They're not in the same triangle. This means a segment, so that's like crazy talk. So anywhere there's an M and an N, we can eliminate those. It's not A and it's not C. For all the other ones, you just want to check them. So LN goes with LM, goes with LM. So those are both one tick mark. And then NP goes with MQ. That's two tick marks. So that one looks like it works. If I come down here, LN is one tick mark, and LP, I can make that two tick marks because that's in the same triangle. And then LQ, but LQ and LN don't go together. LQ and LN don't go together. This is first and third, and this is first and second. So this is my problem here. That can't work. Schoology isn't working, Tatiana said. What do you mean Schoology is not working? Is Schoology down? Oh, it is buffering and buffering and buffering. Ruh-roh. Well, if Schoology goes down, we'll punt. Same thing with this one. You've got the RCT triangle. So all of your R, C's, and T's have to be all the way across. R, C, R, C, R, C, T. Do you see how these are like clumped all together instead of straight across a row? You can't have one triangle clumped like that. All the letters, all the sides of a single triangle have to be across a row. So RCT, RCT, we can't have that. You can have that, right? And then my other triangle, the ABC triangle, AB, AC, BC, AB, AC, BC. So those all work. Now I've got to figure out what goes together. So AB goes with TR, AB goes with TR, that's the same. AC goes with RC, and AC is across from RC. So AC goes with TC. AC goes with TC. So this is the right answer. And it's just a matter of using that key to like figure out if they set up the proportion right. It's a lot. This is craziness. This is my least favorite. Okay. Are we good on setting up and solving proportions? We got to be able to do this. You're going to cross multiply. So multiply across the diagonal, 40 times 7. And that's going to equal 28 times 2x plus 2, or minus 2. 28 times 2x minus 2. And we've got to be able to distribute. So you're going to distribute the 28 over both those terms. Questions about that? I think Schoology is working again. So mine just came back when I reloaded it. Okay. Yours is down? Yikes. So I'll post this video, maybe take notes on a piece of paper. If choice A is similar, what is it similar by? I've got a side and an angle and another side, right? So if this is something, it's going to be side, angle, side. How do I test that? Wesley, did you say divide by 2? So 11 times 2 is 22, and 12 times 2 is 24. There's a scale factor of 2. So that is side, angle, side. What about this one? If this is going to be something, what is it going to be? What's the only thing you're given here? Sides or angles? These are all angles, 40 degrees, right angle, 30 degrees, right angle. So if this is something, it's going to be angle, angle. Can I look at just this triangle and figure out what the missing corner is? If I know this is 40, then this must be 50, right? And if I know this is 30, what's this got to be? 60. So 40 and 50 and 30 and 60, are they the same? So this one's got to be not similar. Okay. This one's a little bit unfair. You have to know Pythagorean theorem. So this height is 5. So if I have a triangle on the left that's 5 over 5, and I've got a triangle on the right that is 12 over 13, are they going to be similar? Does that create the same decimal when I do the division? It does not. So this one's also going to be not similar, right? If it was something, it would be side, angle, side, because I have that right angle. So it'd be a side, an angle, and a side. Here we've got a reflexive angle. So this is going to be side, angle, side as well. Side, angle, side. But we need to put it into a proportion. So 5 over 5 has to equal 8 over 6. 8 over 6. Does this proportion work? So this is also not similar, right? So that's the only one that works. Do we need to talk about 16? Maybe yes, maybe no? No? Okay. I do want to talk about 17. So when you have that similar statement, right, that one, you can't set two sides equal to each other. You have to make a proportion. Every time you see this symbol, you need a proportion with a number and a number and a number and a number. Okay? Every single time, you cannot get away with it. Sides are the only thing that go in proportion. Sides are proportional, angles are congruent. So angles have to equal and sides have to be proportional. I always start where I have just whole numbers. So I'm going to do 5, and then AB goes with LM. 5 and 10 go together. They can either go side by side or they can go in the same fraction. It doesn't really matter. So then I want AC. AC is here. The 5 and the x plus 5 are in the same triangle, so they go in the same fraction. And then AC is the first and the last. It goes with LN, so it has to go with 3x plus 3. When you cross multiply, you get 5 times 3 is 15x, and 5 times 3 is 15. Wow, my hand is getting crazy. And then we distribute the 10. 10 times x is 10x, and 10 times 5 is 50. You want to move the 10x to the left and get 5x, and move the 15 to the right and get 35, and then we get x equals 7. Is that my answer? I've just done a lot of work. Is that my answer? Wesley shaking his head. Why is that not my answer? I got to plug it in for AC, right? So don't do all of this good work and then get the wrong answer because you forget to add 5. Okay. We've got 2 more. I do want to do these, and then we can either start the test if Schoology will load, or we can continue to talk about this. If AC is parallel to CD, AC or AB is parallel to CD, you want to highlight those. Okay. That means that angle C and angle A are congruent because you can make that Z, that alternate interior angle Z. It also means that angle D and angle B are congruent because you can make the Z go in the other way, right? DE is 10, BE is 15. They go together because they're opposite the C. So the 10 and the 15 have to go together, side by side. And then CE is 20. CE is 20. And the 20 goes with the X. 20 and 10 are in the same triangle, so the 20 goes here and the X goes here. When you solve, what do you get for X? X equals 15. I think maybe 30, because 10 times 2 is 20, so 15 times 2 is 30. I was with you for a second. And then AE is my question, so that's 30. Okay. There is a question on the test that's a word problem. It's not this word problem, but basically these vertical pieces go together. So the 28 and the X have to go together, right? So the vertical pieces in your picture go together, and then the diagonals are going to go together. The 30 and the 28 are in the same triangle, so the 30 and the 28, and then the 105 goes over here. And then again, you just cross multiply. Okay. Questions on those? All right. Let me pause the video. Is Schoology still crazy?